All right, good morning, everyone. So I'm going to go over SkySlope and Digisign today. We'll try to get it all done and show you how it works together. Keep on practicing it because as we know, Authentisign is already gone. The next thing to be gone will be web forms. So it's better you get used to it now anyways. So let's just go into Trev here and get started. Okay, so when you log in, let me just get rid of some of this Zoom stuff here. It'll be on your home screen, SkySlope Forms. You can click on it. And it's going to bring you to your dashboard. Okay, and the first thing you want to do is you want to always go in and check your profile to make sure that everything is up to date and it's good, right? So you want to look at your user profile. You want to make sure that your phone number you're using, but most importantly, the email and everything you're using is up to date because that's what it's going to use when you send offers back and forth for e-signature and it's going to, and you need to sign the documents, it's going to use this email. So just make sure your profile is good and up to date there. Make sure it says the right office. Okay. I'll go back to the dashboard again. Okay. So I'm just going to click on my files because I have all the office ones there. So it's going to show you all things that you have created. Basically, I usually file them by address name. It's best for me because I might be doing multiple addresses for one client, but however you want to name your projects or your kits, that's how it'll show up here. Okay, so we'll just start by creating one. So you go to the top blue button here on the left and you click create. Okay, and the first thing it's going to ask you is who are you creating this file for? So if you're working on a team, you can put your team member on there, but most of the time you're creating it for yourself. So you don't have to worry about that too much. Then you're going to say, what is this? Is this for a buyer, a tenant, a seller, or a landlord? Okay, so I'm going to say it's for a buyer. And my buyer's name is John. Whoopsie. Let me just go here. I must have clicked something else. My buyer's name is John Smith. And his email is bolandrealtor@gmail.com. So it's going to ask me, is there a property yet? So I can import MLS data, or I can type the property address here. 123 Main Street. Okay. And then the next thing it's going to ask me, how would you like to name this file? So that's just what I was showing you on the first page where it's filing it for you. So most of the time I keep it the property address, 1223 Main Street. The next thing you're going to choose is the kits here. So this is something special you have to understand that all agents don't have out there. This is just special for our office. So you guys can choose kits that we've created here where we pre-filled automatically filled information in there for you to save you time and energy. And also, you know that if you click one of these kits, if you fill out all the forms in those kits, that's all the forms that Stella's going to be chasing you for. So you don't have to worry. You know that everything in that kit is what you need. So for instance, if you choose freehold purchase offer, it's going to have all the forms in there. So I'm just going to go to the top real quick. You see all the kits here. There's what, 6, 7 available because we chose buyer. Say for instance, you choose seller. When you scroll down to the bottom, it's going to change what kits are available for you. Okay, down there. So now it's only going to have things for selling. Okay, so your listing agreement for freehold, your listing agreement for a condo, if it's a commercial sale of business, stuff like that. Okay, I've added most of our regular everyday kit. So if you're doing something really specific, it might not be, you might not be able to find it here in the regular kits, but for the most part, I think there's like 20 some odd kits we've created. It should be there for most of your everyday things that you're doing. So now you're going to click down here and you're going to go to buyer and then you're going to click create. Oh, sorry. Yes. Click create. Sorry, my laptop's being funny lately where it doesn't let me click the bottom button. I think it's a setting on the screen or something. Let's see here. Oh, if it already exists, probably because of I usually try to delete the kits when I'm doing training from previous ones. So we'll just name it 345 main. Okay. Okay. So the next screen you come to is all of the forms within the kit that you need to do for a freehold purchase, because that's the one that I chose. So you have your RICO information guide, you're working with a realtor, your individual identification record, your buyer's rep, your 801, the offer summary, your agreement of purchase and sale, and your confirmation of cooperation. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, the way this works now is, I think I'm going to send this, I want to prepare everything and send it to my client for signature. So it works a little different. I will say I'm going to tuck everything in the envelope. So it's going to create an envelope on the next screen for me. But what do I need my client to initial or sign for me? Okay. So if I click select all, it's going to take everything, but I already know I don't need them to sign the identification record. I'm going to fill that out with their ID and send it to the office on my own. So I'm not going to include that for my next step in the envelope. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to click fill and send. Okay. And from here, you can go and you can fill out all the information you need to for the offer. I'm just going to go scroll down real quick and show you that some things are pre-filled. Once I get past this information guide, which is so lovely that we have now. Okay, so it's going to automatically tell you from the first page that John Smith is my client. It's Remax Ace Realty. It's a purchase offer. So see on the kit, it's automatically putting it on the buyer side for you. His name is pre-filled there, our address, you know, some of your information as an agent, because you said that you're creating the kit. So wherever your information needs to be, it pops up there. Okay. So I'm going to go back for a minute now. I'm going to close SkySlope Forms, and I'm going to show you another way to create a kit. So if you go into any listing now, and you should be using Realm, because that it's, get used to it, it's coming soon. What's it, February 28th or something like that? So we're going to go into Realm. I'll just clear this from my last search, whatever I was doing. And I'm going to say, I'm going to pick something around the office. So Toronto. EO4. Okay. All right. So let's say we want to put offer on 20 florins. Okay. So our client, we've shown our client this property. They love it. We're going to put an offer on it. So I'm going to open the listing first, and I'm going to go to the bottom of the pictures here. Most of our stuff in Stratus, we're used to seeing it on the top of the listing. It's all along the top, our geo warehouse, our online forums, our Authentisign, stuff like that. Right now, it's in Realm, it's below the pictures. So we're going to come here, and we're going to come down to SkySlope Forums, and I'm going to click on SkySlope Forums from the MLS listing. And now I can start, I come to that familiar screen from SkySlope. So I'm going to say, okay, my client is a purchaser of 20 florins. We're going to say it's Jane Smith now. Put my email address in, phone realtor. Okay, so now we come down here. Is there a property yet? Yes, because we pushed it from the MLS listing. The address and everything is already in there. And I'm going to leave the kit name 20 florins. And I'm going to come down here, and again, I'm going to choose my freehold purchase offer kit. And then I can click create from here. So the advantage of this, oh, apparently I already have one. I chose 20 florins, I guess, to train before. Let's do 40 florins. Let's just pretend. Or maybe somebody already has a kit named that for florins. Okay. So now we come into the kit again, and I'm just going to do quickly what I did again. I'm going to select all. I'm going to take off this individual identification record because I don't need it signed. And now I'm going to go to fill and send. Yeah.
On the left side symbol 810, right?
Yeah.
Click on that form.
Okay.
You need to, whenever there is a symbol like that, with warning symbol, you need to update.
You need to update the form. Exactly. So right now they're doing lots and lots of updates. So you can go and you can update it if you notice that this happens. I try to keep on top of it, but they're making so many changes. It's like every other day now. Because they just changed a lot of the forms, and I think they're finding little mistakes here and there that they're fixing. So I find it's almost every other day I go in here. So if I come in and I check the kits this morning, and if I were to click update, you guys won't encounter this. But if you do happen to go in, it's good note that Sri was saying, if there's a little symbol like this with the exclamation mark, it means there's an update on this form. So you can go and you can click update now. Okay. All right. So now you're going to see what's different when you push it from an MLS listing is that it's not only filling out our client's information and the pre-filled for information that I did to create the kit, it's also going, let me just go down to the APS here. It's also going to pre-fill information about the property. So you see 20 florins is on the 801. We'll go to the APS and it's going to fill out some of this information here. Now, what should we be doing at this point? Okay, it pre-filled all the information. Great, that's fantastic. We don't have to type it, but all of us have to do our due diligence. So this is why I always keep my MLS listing open. Okay, so I'm going to go to my MLS listing and below the pictures here, you're going to see our Geo Warehouse. We're also going to open our Geo Warehouse while we're creating our offer. Okay, so now what am I opening my Geo Warehouse for? Because it autofills stuff from the MLS listing. We always have to remember that when we're using information from the MLS listing, it's that listing agent or that listing agent's office that is creating that MLS listing and posting it. So there's always room for human error or miscommunication, especially if the agent's giving it to front desk and, you know, they're not necessarily agents, right? So you always have to check your information. It's your guys' responsibility to be checking information all the time. If you get a RICO complaint, you cannot say, oh, MLS listing said XYZ, and so that's why I put it, or, you know, oh, my front desk typed it like that, so it's not my fault, right? They will say, you're the agent, you're the license, did you do your due diligence? So how are you going to prove you did your due diligence, okay? You're going to say, I checked Geo. And if you know you did, you'll have confidence, because if you know you got that information off a Geo Warehouse, and even if it happens to be wrong, you at least can prove that you checked that resource, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the seller's name. So I'm going to go to Geo Warehouse and it's two people on title, Pachalis and Petros. So I'm going to see here, already I see a problem. 20 florins, 20 florins. It says Evangelia and Nick. So I'm wondering why it's different. So what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to call the listing agent and say, hey, these people might have two names maybe on their license. Maybe this is a more regular Western name that they use rather than it looks like Greek name or something like that. I want to find out why this is different. So this is a really good example because when it goes to the lawyer, why is it say Nick and Evangelia on here and it says two different names on here? And if that's the case, then I want the agent to send me something. Maybe you got a snap of their ID, or maybe you can confirm, did they have an affidavit saying it's one of the same person? I want some kind of written confirmation, even a text from the agent saying, no, it's the same people. That's just their Greek name or something. So that's the first layer where I'm protecting myself and my client. I want something in writing from the agent. I want a text. I want an email. I want something saying I checked title. It's different names. Okay. The next thing I'm going to go down and check is I'm going to check the frontage and the depth. Okay. So a lot of people round up. A lot of people don't put the point, whatever. So I'm just going to scroll down the listing here and we're going to see where the frontage and the depth are. So it says 46 by 86 and by 98. So what does the MLS listing say? 47. Okay. I don't like that. I'm changing it. I would never send it like this. I would say 46 by 86. It seems like a small amount, but you have to remember some things, okay? Say this person is purchasing 20 florins because they're going to put an addition on. So they've looked at the MLS listing and they've said 47 by 98, whatever that square footage is, and they've mapped out their addition on it. Now they purchase this property and they go to the city to apply for the permit. Well, the city knows it's 46 by 0.86 frontage and not actually 47, right? That little bit might be enough times the square footage to throw off their addition. And now they spent money on drawings and they've come to the point where they're going to the city for the permit. So they're going to come back on the realtors and say, hey, how come, especially your purchaser will come back and say, how come when we purchased the property, you told me it was 47 frontage. Now I can't do this exact addition. I want to have to change my drawings, right? So it may seem negligible, but it is very important that you go and check. So I would always change it. I'm not going to say 47 like the listing agent did. I don't know why that listing agent had 47. I can tell they didn't check Geo Warehouse.
Especially the frontage.
Especially the frontage. Especially the frontage. So imagine, you know, like in EO6, they're dividing a lot of the lots now and they're making like an A and B and making like a bigger, taller, right? They're letting you go, you know, 33-foot lots, 25-foot lots. That would make a difference. So say I wanted to divide it into two 25-foot lots because I was assuming it was 50, but really it's only 48.9. And this agent rounded up. And now the city says, no, you can't divide it into two lots. That's huge for your buyer because they were thinking they were going to put up two properties and make a lot of money on this. And now they can't divide, they can't sever the land, right? So you really have to ensure that you're checking geo warehouse. So I can tell you this listing agent probably went off a previous listing or information from their owner or something. They didn't go to check geo warehouse, right? So already naughty agent didn't check geo warehouse, not doing their due diligence, right?
But who is the one that the last listed, they are the one responsible.
Yeah.
I cannot say the previous agent put that and I put it in.
No, you cannot say any of that because the previous agent is just lucky. They got away with it. Nobody complained. It didn't affect that person. Maybe they bought it and they didn't want to change anything. It didn't affect that person. So nothing affects you when you go do real estate. You can get away with this 100,000 times. It's the one time you don't get away with it, it's going to cost you. Because now say your buyer sues you and your buyer says, you know, I thought I was building two property. I thought I was going to make 200 and 200,000 on each property by building them. So now I can only build one. You owe me $200,000 and they're going to go sue you for it. And it's a big possibility. Yeah.
It is showing like a irregular or zeros.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how the agents are listed. They should put it, otherwise.
Sometimes you can't. If it's irregular, you can't put the depth. Okay. So if you put the depth, and it's an irregular lot, okay, what they're assuming is it's perfectly rectangle, right? So I've seen listings actually the opposite way. So we put an offer in a couple weeks ago, and I know Shiraz and I were talking about it, and I said, I'm putting 0. The listing agent had, say, 47 by 150, right? But when I looked on Geo Warehouse said 0. And then I looked down and it was like one side was 147 and one side was 150. It was like kind of a parallelogram, not quite a rectangle, right?
You know, I do like within
Yes.
put zeros and then I write it beside that
Irregular.
And
And then I took it one step further. Actually, I wish I could find, I'll see if I can find the offer for you that I was working on. In Schedule A, he says, what should we put though? Because, you know, what if the client says this is the depth or whatever? I said, let's in Schedule A put irregular lot, and then Geo Warehouse has the dimensions. So all I did was copy and paste this. I'll show you. You see this part here? So if this wasn't perfectly square, which it isn't, see, it's 46 by 96, 46 by 97, right? It's kind of like point whatever off, but Geo didn't put 0. So I'm safe to put the actual number. I don't have to put 0 in this case because Geo hasn't put 0. I just put in Schedule A, irregular lot, and then I put a semicolon, and then I just copy and pasted those dimensions into my Schedule A. So my client was aware that's the lot because it's irregular and here are the dimensions of it, right? So it's easy to protect yourself. Like I know sometimes it's okay, I got to go into your warehouse, I got to check this. And it's like, but the thing is that it's a costly mistake when you get caught and when it's a problem, right?
Yeah. So you can send the basic client report, take it from here,
Yeah.
and then send it to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to see that. Send the client report.
Yeah, you can. A lot of people don't know how to read it properly though. So you still want to make sure that your offer, like even if you send it, give them the report and you write your offer wrong, like you have to make sure that's the legal document at the end of the day, right? Yeah, sorry, you had it.
After closing happen.
Yeah.
They would go for the neighbors.
Yeah.
And asking you, what is this? What is this? Then they come behind us and ask.
Exactly.
I put it over there. This is the thing. I got it the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
This happened for me. The last year I bought it like a 2 properties.
Yeah.
All Indian origin people. Deeply go and check it everything. They couldn't come back anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always after the fact. Sorry, you had a question. Is it?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted so you mean that in the bracket we can change or additional information like align with the geo warehouse, you mean?
Sorry, in the bracket where, like in Schedule A?
Not a schedule in the the lot measurement. I think we cannot put so many things, right? So
you can't. That's why I said in the offer I did. I was just telling them, do you remember a week or two ago we were doing an offer? It was a regular lot. We put it in Schedule A.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one that was. Do you remember what address that was? it doesn't matter anyways. I was gonna show you the address, but basically all I did is, they don't allow you to put it in, one
In
second. I'll go
in
back
the
to you.
measurement, so.
Yeah, there's not enough. See, you can't put anything but the measurement in here. It's not gonna allow you to explain that it's this
Right.
by this by this, right?
Right.
Right? So
Right.
what I did is, say this one was in a regular lot. The listing agent had 46 by 86 by 98, say. But when I checked Geo Warehouse, it was a 0. So I took it out and I put 0. Then I went to Schedule A. Right? And in my Schedule A, just somewhere, anywhere I found was appropriate. Let's just go to the bottom here. Right?
40
I
feet
put
right there.
irregular lot,
Mhm.
right? And then I just took the measurements off of Geo Warehouse here.
Warehouse and put it in the Schedule A. Okay.
Yeah. And then I went and I put it here so that I know that the client is signing this document and I've put it in a regular lot and there are the dimensions.
Also, you can put the legal description also if it's too big.
If it's too big, that was the next one I'm getting to, for sure. Same thing.
So the 0 you took from the MLS, right?
The what, sorry? The 0?
Yeah.
No,
0.
okay, so MLS will say anything, because this is an agent entering it. So I don't know how good this agent is. Did this agent check Geo Warehouse? Did this agent take it off of I don't know, a survey? Did this agent just take the owner's information? Because you have owners that say, my lot's 50 by 150, right? Well, you can't take that. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's 48 by 120, right? Like, you don't know. So you don't know where this agent got the information. So you never ever trust the MLS listing. You always have to do your due diligence and check,
Okay,
right?
so 0 you put in the front or in the depth? Can you please show it again?
So it depends. Each property is different where you put
Oh,
it,
okay.
right? So whether you put it in the frontage or the depth, it's all depending on what the Geo Warehouse says.
Saying, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this one didn't actually say that. The one we're working on right now that I pushed it off of, this 20 florins says 98. Okay. And when I go and I check the Geo Warehouse, see on his listing, he had, where is it here now? Did I pass it already?
47.98.
Yeah, he has 47.98 on his listing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But when I check Geo Warehouse, okay.
It says
Sorry.
okay. It says like
Highlighted one.
yeah,
No,
go
no, no.
ahead.
That's because I highlighted that and I took it over.
Which
I
one
just
we
want to
should
show you here where it
which
says
one?
the frontage and the depth. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You see this listing agent has 47, but Geo Warehouse has 46. Okay. So I know now if anything were to come through Rico or Treb, or I get sued for a complaint, I'm confident because I know I almost checked Geo Warehouse. I'm going to say, oh, no, it's not my mistake, right? Like if anybody's having a problem with the issue, like say my client went forward and tried to get a permit for something now and was unable to and said, I thought the lot was 47 because I saw when he was on realtor.ca, he thought, oh, this is a good lot. I'm going to buy this one. It's 47. And he kept it in his head. And he didn't pay attention to any of the offer paperwork, even though I go over the whole offer with our client, right? I know I'm going to go back and say, no, my paperwork says 46.86 because I know I checked the Geo Warehouse. Do you know what I mean? So this is the thing. If anything comes back to you, you've got to be confident knowing that you're doing your due diligence all the time. Just make it habit to always go into that Geo Warehouse and check the information, right? So then you know it's not you who made the mistake, right? If the complaint comes around, unfortunately, it's going to be the listing agent's fault in this case because he has 47 on his MLS listing, but I know in my offer I put 46, right? Little things, but they make a big difference. And I've seen so many complaints happen that it's very, very possible, right?
Other common mistake, exposure.
Exposure. Yeah, I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over that right now. Don't worry. So, the legal description. The legal description is the next one. So I know Sri was saying also a thing I put into Schedule A very often in my offers because it's really, really long and it doesn't fit. So on the MLS listing, this is what it says because we push this SkySlope offer kit from our MLS listing. So it's reading off of that. But again, we're going to go into our Geo Warehouse and we're going to check and make sure that this is the proper legal description. So over here, we're going to see that it is much, much longer than what he has put. See? So this is a great example where I'm going to take this whole thing. It's huge. And it seems like a whole bunch of jargon that maybe you don't understand. I'm gonna do legal description training again soon. I did it a couple times last year, but we'll go over it again. I'm gonna take all of this and I'm gonna say here in my offer that this is 1, 2, 3, continued on Schedule A, right? And then I'm gonna go down to my Schedule A again, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the irregular lot there. Because you might be missing things on here. He might have just put that, oops, I think Schedule A, legal description. But maybe there's an easement or something on there that's on the legal description that you're missing, right? If you don't capture the whole thing. So there it is, because the lawyer is gonna have to review it. Now I have the whole legal description in my Schedule A if it's too big. Okay. So I'm gonna save that.
Same, the legal description is too big if we don't understand. Better to send it to lawyer to just quick check, sanity check.
Yeah.
any Easement or whatever it is.
Absolutely. If you're unsure, you should be doing that. You can do also call the city. Sometimes people ask me and I try to look and see what kind of easement it is. And if you're unsure, just call the city. If you really think it's going to affect your client, right? Or at least mention it to them, or at least if you have it on your offer here. So say that the rest of that big legal description that I just copied and pasted had an easement on it. We would never know that we told our client that because this is the only legal description that's on there. And this isn't necessarily the listing agent's fault because we only get a small space to put it on our MLS listing, which I really don't understand why they don't fix that. Like the full thing should be there, but we should be going and checking our geo warehouse and copy and pasting that.
So did you copy that the whole legal description and paste in the Schedule A?
Yeah,
Can
I
you-
copy the whole thing.
Can you please show it again? Maybe I missed. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll go down to Schedule A here.
And just copy and paste, right? You didn't write anything else. That's what
I
thought.
didn't know, I not, because I want to only copy and paste what's there because that's put there from the city and I'm not going to mess with it, right? So,
Okay, yeah,
so
that's
here
what
I just put legal
oh, okay.
description and I copied and pasted the whole thing here.
Okay, so always
Right.
Schedule A is the, lot of information we can put, the required information, right?
Yeah, Schedule A. So the way you have to look at things, which I think a lot of realtors don't understand, is we always have Schedule A and Schedule B and we just throw them in. And I find a lot of agents don't realize they don't know what it is. So Schedule A with our offers usually is all of the clauses that we're putting in to protect our clients and to protect us as agents, right? So maybe we're not guaranteeing the measurements in the MLS listing. Maybe we want to, do a home inspection. We're putting in our financing clauses. That's what Schedule A is full of. So don't be afraid to modify it for your deal. If the seller is saying that they're going to, fix the patches in the wall that your client saw, you're putting that in your Schedule A and writing. You don't just take things for word because people go back on their word. You know what I mean? And people are pretty crazy out there. I've seen crazy things happen where they promise up and down, and then at the end of the day, once they close, never happens, right? The client walks in and the holes weren't patched, or the floor wasn't sanded, or they didn't paint that spot on the wall, whatever your client is saying. So I normally put everything in Schedule A here. If I see any discrepancies in legal description, if there's an irregular lot, like I say, if the seller's promised to do some things before closing, or if your client is really, really insistent, they say, I don't know, that's waterfall in the backyard. It's winter and I really want that koi pond and the waterfall to work. Can you put can you make sure it works? And I call the listing agent and say, does it work? Yeah, it works. They use it every year. Oh yeah, they said it's fine. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put it in my Schedule A. I'm going to say the koi pond and waterfall in backyard is in good working order. You know what I mean? The seller agrees to this kind of thing. Because everybody will say, oh yeah, and then they close, and then your client's mad at you, and then you're funding the
Closing there, you close further and close it.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. And then your client's coming back to you and they're saying, hey, you know what? Now the snow thawed and my waterfall's not working in the backyard. So you owe me a waterfall, right? So it's funny, but people do it. They get mad about silly things, and then you end up bearing the cost of it at the end of the day. If you walk in and you see that something's really important to them, like, oh, someone's coming in, like they have really high-end appliances and stainless steel appliances, I might even throw that into my Schedule A, or where my chattels and fixtures are, put a little more of a specific model down, saying stainless steel, I don't know, LG side-by-side fridge, something to that effect, right? Because people switch out appliances, people do all kinds of things. It's crazy. So yeah, serial number is a good thing. We kind of like overkill it because we tend to take a lot of pictures. You know, when you open the door and you're walking through, you take a picture of the fridge, the serial number, and make sure it's the same one at the end of the day. So a lot of these things matter for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna
People change the AC too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't had an AC change, but I guess it's possible.
You need to take a picture of the AC, you need to take a picture of the AC and the brick.
And the brick of the
Brick are also, you need to take a.
to show that it's the house.
Yeah, it is those that before the AC was there. You know, it's happened.
Who would run off with an AC though? Like, can you imagine that people do these kind of things?
AC and they put the reinstall that old AC.
Oh my goodness.
They have a time for that.
Yeah.
Seriously, I know. Like,
You know, brand new AC. They
No,
put it
appliances
in the
generally
house.
they do.
Then the old AC, they brought it and put it in place.
oh my goodness. I haven't heard of an AC being done with. I believe it. I believe it.
No, it's one of my building inspectors.
Yeah.
When he take a picture, he take a picture with the brick. Any AC
So you can prove that it was that house. Yeah.
You may saying that this is somebody else's AC you are showing, right? Take
That's
the
my
picture of the brick and then you say, no, they're going to the house.
That's crazy. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is the fronting on. So the fronting on is another place where there's a big mistake when you're creating your offer. I want to get to Digisign too. So I just want to touch base on this fronting on real quick. So the fronting on the north side, that's going to be auto-filled by the listing as well. And people often mix that up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to Google. And this is, again, how you're showing you did your due diligence. And we're going to say that 20 florins in Scarborough. Okay, so 20 florins in Scarborough is here on this side of Florins. So we all know our compass. Up is north, so north, east, south, west. What do they say? Never eat shredded wheat, right? So you remember it? So up is north. This is the side of the road that this house is on Florins. So it is fronting on the north side of the road. Okay, so people get it confused because often they think it's the direction that the house is facing, which would be south, but it's not. The front of the house is on the north side of the road. So
But
that's
usually it shows in the MLS, right? Fronting, I think MLS has a direction.
yeah, but on MLS, very often it's wrong because a lot of people don't understand the concept. And again, don't trust MLS because it's just another agent listing it and they don't necessarily know this information, right? They could be mixing it up as well. Okay, if you ever, God forbid, got into trouble from Rico or Treb, or your client is suing you at the end of the day, and you told them, oh, well, you know what, that information was on MLS, that is not enough to show that you did your due diligence as an agent. It's not enough to show that you protected your client. They want to know, did you check Geo Warehouse? Did you go to Google Maps? How can you prove that you checked this information and you verified that it was, what are you doing to work for your client, basically, at the end of the day?
But Geo Warehouse says fronting is which side is the fronting? No, right?
Sorry?
Does Geo Warehouse say which side is front?
No,
So
Geo Warehouse does not say that information.
that's quite
So that's why you gotta go quick to Google Maps. I just do a quick thing on Google Maps and I look myself because I can physically see it and I know that I'm not wrong. I know that that's the north side of the road, right? Looking at the map. And I can tell, I can say to them that, you know, I went on and I looked and I know it's the north side of the map. So say this guy had south, say this guy had messed it up and it said south and there was a discrepancy between me and him. And for some reason it mattered because these people do, what's the feng shui or something, and it's affecting them. And now my client's mad because they thought it was the south side of the road and it's not, it's the north. Anyways, you get into these discrepancies. I can say, no, I know the listing said south, but I put north because I looked on the map. Again, have it every single offer. I look on the map.
Yeah, Canadians doesn't know any numbers or any directions, nothing.
Oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
That is not true. The only reason I'm so good with my directions is because of my father.
Oh,
Yeah, ask him. I'm never lost, even if I'm not paying attention and I don't have GPS. I always know if I'm going north, south, east, or west.
You guys came
Yeah.
from India. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way you guys know how the astrology stuff, but not the real Canadians.
So yeah, no, so definitely always know whether I'm going north, south, east, west, but I don't know, like dad was 5th generation Canadian, so I think it's a Canuck thing.
So quick thing, instead of, this is the good way to do it.
Yeah,
If you have to see 5 houses, right, I click all the 5 houses.
yeah,
Go to the map view,
yeah,
and then I will see everything. Like before sending to client, my
Yeah.
clients are all Indian clients, they don't want south facing.
Right.
I will get rid of that and that's it.
is that Vastu or whatever they call it?
No.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so,
I've had so many different clients.
yeah, so, but the map itself we can see.
You can see which ones are going.
Yeah, we-
Yeah, if you're showing multiple for sure.
yeah.
This is just for a one-off offer, but yeah, if it's important, even before you show the house, you can go on and you can map them. You know what I mean? Right from Realm, you can go and look on the map and see where they are, right? So absolutely, you don't want to waste your time showing all south-facing houses if your client's not going to buy it, right? So definitely.
Same thing happened when
Kishan, can you go to the APS? And I have a question in the, especially in the direction.
Sure.
Okay.
What's
Okay.
on the APS?
Fronting, side off, what does it mean, side off?
Oh, you are.
What does it mean? Sorry?
Side of Florence Avenue, that means north,
Oh,
fronting north side.
Because
of-
it's fronting on the north side of what address? Florence Avenue,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay, you are.
You're fronting, it's part of the sentence previous, right? So it's this address fronting on the north side of Florence. Okay, so have you ever had, okay, the reason why this is important, because a lot of people say, well, why do you have to say the north side of Florence? It's 20 Florence, that's the address. But that is not true for all houses. So you know when two streets meet, sometimes you have a house that's on the corner. Now, sometimes that house is facing Florence, but say this house was on the corner and it was Florence and Main Street, but the house, instead of the fronting of it being here, the front door and the driveway and everything, for some reason, the way they planned out the neighborhood, the house is fronting here. So this house, by just driving by, you might think that it's a Main Street address because it's in Florence and Main and it looks like it's fronting on the Main Street. But legally, it's a Florence address. So in this case, I would put 20 Florence Avenue, Toronto, Ontario. It's fronting on the north side of Main Street. So do you get what I mean? So when I go to the Geo Warehouse, I'm going to say, okay, let me go to Geo Warehouse and see if this helps a little bit more. When we're looking at the map here, pretend we are looking at this property, okay? So I'm going to go to this property report, okay? Now, this house, we're assuming that the frontage here, so it says the frontage is 40 feet, okay? It's 40 by 98, the long way. So we're gonna say 48 feet here. It's fronting on the north side of Florence, okay? But say sometimes you've been to the corners houses and the front of the house is here, okay? It's totally facing Paisley, right? Its driveway comes off of Paisley. It looks like it's a Paisley address, but for some reason the city has named it. No, it's a Florence address. It's 26 Florence. So in this case, I would say it's 26 Florence, but say I came down here and I was like, what? They're saying the frontage is 98. Why are they saying the frontage is 98? When I look at it, oh yeah, the house was facing Paisley. So then I would fill my SkySlope form out a little different. I would say, it's on the north side of Florence, 46 by whatever feet, right? But I would say, sorry, 20 Florence Avenue on the north side of Paisley. Or actually, it wouldn't be north in that case. We're getting really confusing now, but Paisley goes this way. So say it was this house we were talking about, Never Eat Shredded Wheat. I would say it's fronting on the west side of Paisley, even though it's a Florence address. Have I thoroughly confused you, Bijojit? Or do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I need to take like a physical lesson to going in the street.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to go out on a put walk on Paisley and Florence and like figure out if there's any house that's weird
Right.
facing. But if you
Right.
ever come across it and you're confused, again, always just reach out to me because then we can kind of Google Maps and look and see
Okay.
exactly how the house is situated. But that's what they mean on the side of. Okay, so it could be a Florence address, but maybe the frontage is on a different street. Very rarely do we come across that though. It's kind of this is kind of almost always this way. But again, if you don't check or if you don't think about it doing the offer, if you ever come across a house on a corner, just be sure what you're doing, how you're making your offer. Okay.
So
All
everything
right.
is not a problem unless the client makes a complaint.
Exactly. It doesn't matter unless the client makes a complaint. But the thing is that I'm telling you, everyone always says, how many times I've heard the story? I've been doing real estate for 8 years. I never had a complaint. Now this client complained about me. There'll always be the one that'll come, and you want to make sure that you've done everything correct, right?
Nowadays, better way, that we open up your phone and show the direction. This one.
Yeah.
Northeast or southwest or something. Like
Yeah, I have my
that.
compass
Never
on.
really be south.
We have our compass on our phone because if
Yeah,
our
I always
clients,
show the client, see, this is a direction, this is
Yeah.
your front entrance.
Yeah.
See, it's showing like a northeast,
yeah,
not a north
hmm
or
mhm.
southeast.
Yeah.
Something in between.
I'm getting a call right now. Otherwise, I'd open up my
That's
phone.
what I know.
But yeah, we open up our compass because it's important to some clients. We've sold to different kinds of Asian clients who don't do feng shui and vastu and all that stuff. And it's important sometimes even in the kitchen when they're preparing their food, right? Am I wrong? He's smiling because he knows I'm right.
No, I experienced
Last week I
Yeah.
had an experience.
They stand at the counter and they figure where they're going to be preparing the food, in what direction they're facing. And so I bust out my compass.
Some clients don't like the T-junction.
Some clients don't like the T junction. They don't like it when the stairs go right out the front door, all of that stuff, right? Yeah. So definitely anything to protect yourself because, and like I say, as long as you make it habit, that's why I say it over and over every training. I try to open our geo warehouse, check this, check that, open your map, check the frontage. When you know it's a habit, you have nothing to complain about. God forbid you ever get a complaint. You're like, I know I checked it. Like you don't have to go, oh my God, was I wrong? Did I make a mistake? Right? You should make it your habit. Then it's not a big deal. Okay, so from here real quick, we want to go into Digisign because we only have about 10 minutes left here. So we have filled out all our forms beautifully. We're ready to send it to our client to Digisign it. So we're so used to seeing Authentisign. I'll take you into Digisign here real quick. And it's going to ask me everybody in this deal because I pushed it off the MLS listing. So it will always also have the listing agent and the sellers on there, which I don't need. So I can leave them blank. It's saying choose one. And Jane Smith needs to sign because she's my client. She has to sign this offer. But I also know that as the buyer agent, I have to sign as well. So I'm going to change this to needs to sign. Okay. Because we know there's places in the offer where we have to sign. And then I'm going to click next. Okay. So now it's going to bring me to this screen. So this is really user friendly. It's actually quite great the way they've developed it. I like using it. My only complaint so far is that I have to keep on putting in the email address if I add new client, new people. So I'm looking at Sri because usually he's the techie one and he knows the answer. So if I go here, say I realize, oh, Jane Smith her brother needs to sign too. Jim needs to sign. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say new recipient, but it won't let me search my client database anywhere. Right? You have to add it every time. Okay, good. See, I was like thinking I missed a trick or something, but no. This is my biggest complaint is that I have to keep on adding email addresses, whereas before, in Authentisign, you could grab it from your previous client list and they were all there. You didn't have to look for the email address. But anyways, you have to add your email address every time. So I'm going to write them an email and see if they'll change that because they've been changing a lot since they opened this. I don't know if you guys have.
So added in the first time when you created the
Yeah.
one buyer, right? You add another buyer.
Which is annoying too, because sometimes I'm doing multiple offers for clients. Like I wish I could choose. Remember, Authentisign, you could choose off your client list, right? Anyways, I'm going to see if they'll change that because they've changed a lot that since like the 9 months I've been using this now. I come in and it's different. Something's different and they've changed it. I'm like, oh, they made that better. Okay, good. So they're still in sort of the midst of improving it. And I'm sure as they hear our feedback too, like, hey, Authentisign used to have this, they'll quickly change it, right? Because they want to stay our provider. So, okay,
Is
so
it
the first
mandatory
thing,
to sorry,
that's okay.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, is it mandatory to get it signed by the client or just an optional?
Is it mandatory to get it signed by the client?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
What do you like your offer? You have to, yeah, you have to get
No, not the offer. This one, the RICO. What is this? This is a RICO document, right?
So no, it's good practice, but
Oh, okay.
no, because our working with a realtor now has a new spot saying that you were provided it and you read it, which we never had before. which
Oh,
this
having received
document is
has been
mandatory.
explained. Yeah. This is
Yeah.
mandatory. Otherwise, some clients lied. Oh, they said that, oh, I didn't
Oh, I
explain
didn't,
the
right?
stuff. Yeah.
And that's coming up a lot. So like you see over the years, they'll change things like this. We
Yeah.
have this problem that comes up a lot. Well, they're going to put a little spot on our working with a realtor and add that now where our clients have to
Exactly.
initial it, right?
It's needed.
So-
Otherwise, client do everything. Whenever, they fall in problem, then they try to push everything to the agent.
Exactly. No, this is what I'm saying. You're 100% right. That's why I say protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself. Do good work in our field for your client. Because at the end of the day, no matter how fantastic you think you are, oh my God, look, I got them the house. No matter what goes wrong, they're going to turn around and blame you. It's just the nature of our business and it sucks, but we're the first ones to get blamed if anything's wrong. So definitely be mindful. Okay, so you're going to come in here and let's just pretend we're getting this sign. So this doesn't have autofill fields in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this field and I'm going to grab text and I'm going to write in here and I'm going to put Christine Boland. Okay,
So again,
and you
it
can
is good
adjust it.
practice, not
Sorry?
mandatory, right? It is a good practice, not mandatory. This form, right?
It's a good practice. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with sending it to our client, right? Yeah. Sorry, I thought you had a question. Okay.
Sorry.
So then we're going to come in here and it's really user friendly. So if I want Christine to sign, I'm going to click on signature. And I know I'm probably not doing it in the right spots, but I'm just showing you, demonstrating a little bit here. So I'm going to put a signature here. Okay. If I wanted to cross out a clause, I can go and I can strike it. Actually, I'll wait till we get to the schedule to do that. Now,
Choose the full type in the text, right? And you choose the full name.
yeah. No, I was just showing how to open a text box there, but you're right. You can go full name and click it here if I want my full name there. All different kinds of stuff. It's like I say, it's super user friendly. Like you can't go wrong. You want to check something, you use a checkbox. You want to date something, you use the date box, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory there. And then once you click on the box above, you just click on your document where you want to put it and it'll put it there. Okay. The thing I want to caution you guys of, because I'm sure you guys are super smart, you can figure out that Digisign, click the box, click the signature, put the signature on. That's pretty self-explanatory. When you push it, now I've pushed everything from my MLS listing, and now I've pushed it from my envelope into my signing. When you go into a signing, the wizard automatically fills out everything where it says buyer, everything where it says seller, everything where it says agent, to whoever you've assigned those roles to. So when you come into the document, you have to know where the signature is supposed to be and where it's not supposed to be. And so you have to delete some things. So for instance, the first thing on the working with a realtor is here. I just want to bring to your attention because you don't want them to be self-represented. So I'm going to delete that. My client's not signing that they're self-representing, but then I can keep all of those there. And then I come down to the bottom of this form and it says, is representing my interests and is not representing my interests. Well, obviously we don't want to click on both. So I'm going to delete it there as well for my client. Okay. So, because the wizard is just reading that, oh, that's a buyer box. So I'm going to put an initial there for the buyer. So you have to go through and make sure you're deleting those ones. The buyer representation is another one. So the first box we're going to delete is where it says we're signing our client for longer than 6 months. We're not signing our client usually longer than 6 months. So I'm going to delete that one. And then I'm going to come down here and they're usually, this is the buyer rep here, so that's fine. The next spot is the acknowledgement. Usually it has it in the acknowledgement and we don't want, okay, it didn't put it here. Sometimes it puts it there. Maybe they've stopped doing that because when they first had Digisign, Authentisign was doing it as well. But maybe they fixed that now in Digisign because I find the last like 4 or 5 deals I've gone to do, it's not putting it here, but just be mindful it might be here. We're not acknowledging our offer until they're accepted. So why are we not? I find this is a big mistake a lot of agents make because they're trying to save time. They go, you know what? I don't want to go back and get this guy's signature after the deal is accepted. I'm just going to go and I'm going to put their signature here. Okay. So like, why is this a problem?
It's acknowledgement, right?
Yeah.
So all the documents signed, after that we need to get that.
Right, after, okay? So imagine you're in a multiple representation, not a multiple representation, a bidding war, right? There's multiple offers going on. And you just as habit always put this acknowledgement in, okay? So you're in a bidding war last night, you've signed it, you had your client sign the acknowledgement, now you lost last night. You lost, they didn't win, right? So today, the guy who won the bid, he decides not to bring the deposit. Well, your listing agent has an offer from you saying that your client acknowledges that they realize that they have an accepted offer. That is what this signature is for. This signature is really important, okay? So even though it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, we got to go back to our client after offers are accepted. Do not have it signed, because you could have a shady listing agent who says, that guy didn't bring my deposit today, but you know what? That agent sent it in and he has an acknowledgement signed on it. So I'm going to hold him liable now to the deal today, right?
So-
Irrevocability is there, right?
Sorry?
Irrevocability is gone, right? Yesterday night it's
It doesn't matter because you got your client to sign the acknowledgement. So what's going to stop him from just getting his client to fill in the acceptance? This signature, no, but you're missing my point. This signature at the bottom from your client is acknowledging that they know that they have an accepted offer. So if they fill the acceptance in afterwards, fraudulently, how are you going to prove that? Because your client is signed that they know that it's an accepted offer. Do you understand what I mean? The acknowledgement is an acknowledgement knowing, no?
We'll talk later.
No,
So,
can ask the selling agent, okay, can you confirm the offer is accepted, mine or not? It's 11:55.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you got your client to sign the acknowledgement. Okay, so here at the top,
so what is the difference? So acknowledgement and confirmation of acceptance can be done in the same time?
no. Okay, so the only time acceptance and acknowledgement can be done at the same time is if you're the one accepting it, right?
Yeah,
So
meaning
if it's
the
gone back and
buyer.
forth, if it's gone back and forth and it's in the listing agent's hand now, the seller can accept the document and acknowledge it at the same time.
Oh, acknowledge
Okay.
and yeah. Accept and
Right.
acknowledge can be done same time in case of buying, right? If we agreed, right?
Never in the case of buying, not until it's accepted. Okay, so you're getting this first signature is acknowledging that, yes, okay, I, as the buyer, signed this document offering all of this, offering the price, the date, the closing date, the deposit, all the clauses in Schedule A, everything. That is what this first signature is acknowledging, okay? Then we go down here and it goes to the seller. The seller is going to acknowledge it, okay? So imagine that they sign back or accept it or whatever. Your client does not sign this part until the acceptance line is signed.
After that date and time,
Mhm.
then this date and time should be there.
Yeah.
24 hours. No?
If you get them to sign it before and somebody does something fraudulent,
So now you're going.
it's very hard for you to prove because this whole signature down here, this signature means that you acknowledge there is an accepted offer.
You know,
Get
after the confirmation of acceptance sign,
Yeah,
above any places, he cannot even touch.
no, nothing.
Only the one signature.
Only the acknowledgement at the bottom.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
If it's anything that happened, and then it's a
We prove it,
the
we
whole
can
deal is
go on.
null.
yeah, yeah,
The whole deal is null.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
So
You have to do an
Kristen,
amendment after that
Yeah.
fact. Anything should be done by on
You
amendment
know,
after that.
usually people put it acknowledgement also in the same time and they say it.
So everybody does it and I'm like, no, you're not supposed to sign that.
Yeah.
That's very bad. It's really, really bad.
I know that it's
Yeah.
back and forth offers, lot of changes are people doing in between like 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Sometimes people doesn't know how many initials.
How many
they go
initials?
after.
Oh my God.
See the initial after offer accepted, acknowledge
That's-
on everything.
It's a valid point.
Second day from the deed secretary, point it out and send it us.
Yeah.
Please get it your initial from your client.
No, that is also not right.
That's
You know,
not right.
we
I said
have
it's
a-
all on the
have a-
offer. Just
get the
leave it. I said
signature to that.
when they go to bank,
Yeah,
they will get the bond.
You need to
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. Otherwise, the lawyer going to be fixing up.
exactly.
This happens lot.
So say I offer 950
You can get the signature from the seller.
and then I put, he's just talking about the signatures real quick.
Closing dates and initials, the pricing side, sometimes, if you change one.
Every time you make a change, there should be an initial.
you put one initial,
So-
oh, okay.
Oops,
Less of
just
one.
take a strike.
One, accept and accept. One more there, accept.
Okay, so say I go here, and I go here. I'm just doing a real quick thing. One of the guys here just made mention that not everybody is signing them properly. So let's just do 988. Okay. So we have to make sure that, say this is an offer that went back and forth on price, right? That this is getting initialed each time. Every time there's a change, there should be seller and buyer initial from both parties before this is accepted, okay? Very often I'm not seeing this, and you're right, Stella's gonna chase you for it. She's gonna say you're missing initials every single time. So every single time there's a change, you're initialing it. So 3 different changes, 3 different initials. And I find a lot of people are forgetting to change this area here from buyer to seller, buyer to seller. Who's offering it right now? If it's your buyer, the listing agent's gonna have crossed it off and said seller counter offered this. No, you're gonna cross it off and say buyer counters offers this. You have to keep on, I know it's silly, but this might say buyer, seller, 3, 4 times if it's going back and forth, but that's the way it has to be. Because you have to know who is responsible for accepting or assigning back. Yeah, who's in control at that point. So, do you guys have any questions? How are you guys online? Practice on this new SkySlope. I'm telling you, I absolutely love it. My only complaint is you can't pull the client email address. Other than that, I think it's fantastic. I've been using it for about 8-9 months now since it's come out. And they're going to be switching it soon. So you have no choice. Don't frustrate yourself when you have no choice and you come and then you're like, oh, I don't know what to do because I don't know how to create my offer. I haven't practiced enough. Sorry, Ruth, did you have a question? I think I just see your hand up there.
Yes, actually, okay, no problem. Actually, I'll come to the office to get in practical experience with you.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Ruth, did you have a question? Oh,
No.
Sadia? Okay, okay. I thought I saw your hand up. Sadia, you got a question?
Hi, Christine. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, good. So quick question. Digisign, we have, when we are doing the forms, when we are filling out MLS sheet, there is a list of content regarding the description of the floors, like wooden floor or whatever it is, right? So you can
Okay.
pick up from the list. Is there any kind of list available for SkySlope? Because when you are doing the MLS information in the
You're
SkySlope,
talking about the
there is
MLS
no
data
pop-down
sheet.
menu or nothing.
You're talking about the
Data sheet,
MLS
yes.
data sheet?
Right.
So when you go, let's go into here. I just want to make sure I'm on the same page as you. So we're going to go and pretend we're doing a listing, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So here, let's go back to SkySlope, create, seller. Okay, so freehold listing. This data sheet. You're talking down here in the room description.
Go, yeah, down.
Here in the room
Where
description.
is each room description? Yes.
Yeah. So this on our MLS data sheet doesn't have a pull down menu until you're loading the listing. When you're loading the listing on Realm, it does have the pull down menu. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, she's
Oh.
asking here the. So drop down then.
No, you can choose it in Realm when you're loading in Realm. I just loaded the listing yesterday. You just choose it.
Oh,
Yeah. So where it shows up, Sadia, is here. So if you come to Realm and you want to edit a listing. Where are we here? Because I just loaded our listing yesterday there.
Do the
Listing
data
inventory
sheet.
from the above.
Sorry?
Listing inventory from there, you look at it.
No. I want to do edit. Hold on. Listing edit here.
Oh, okay.
This is where you got it from. It's not actually on the data sheet, which is, again, I don't know why they don't give it easy for us, but say I want to load, I don't know, give me an address.
We have access to it. All the agents have access to it. Like how.
You can get it if you train with me. You can't. So you can load your own listing as long as you're doing it properly. So it's true that we don't give everybody access, but if you're used to loading your listings, you can get access. So I'm gonna say it's me loading this. Sorry, I just want to show you this real quick, Sadia. So we're gonna say it's for sale and it's a freehold. I'm just trying to get basic information here, quick, detached, create. Okay, so in Realm, this is our new ad edit. I'm gonna do training on this as well in the coming weeks. Because I want to cover this and I want to cover legal descriptions, a whole bunch of things. But here you go to your room detail, okay? And in the description, your pull-down menu is there. So this is what you're talking about, right? Where you want to
Perfect.
say access
Yeah,
to
thank you.
garage, you want to say hardwood flooring. It's in your,
Yes.
yeah. So on the MLS data sheet, they don't have this option for us. All they have is the page at the end that you can look at. So there's a cheat sheet at the end of the document here, see? Where if you go to flooring and stuff like that, it'll all be listed there for you. So
Yeah.
bamboo floor, broadloom, ceramic, whatever. I don't know why they give us a ghetto list and not a drop-down menu, but maybe they'll change our forms. But yeah,
Yeah, I got it.
but it is there when you're loading it.
But if you are doing in Realm, how you can transfer it to SkySlope? Can you?
So they don't have that push feature like web forms did.
Okay.
So I'm gonna actually email them today because I mean it's not a impossibility that they would change it. Push from data
Right.
sheet and client list. Because I have setting up
That's more convenient.
sorry. Convenient, yeah, no, for
That's
sure.
more convenient.
Yeah, because setting up the templates for the office, I think I've become best friends. Either that or they hate me at SkySlope because I like emailed them 1,000 times. And not only that, because I created the templates, every time somebody new joins, I have to like physically email them. They don't just automatically get added to my team. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to email them and see if they'll change those two things because I missed the push feature because
Perfect.
basically you're entering it twice. You have to do your data sheet and you have to do your ad edit, right? So yeah.
Thank you.
The clients, yeah. I put a list, I put a note for myself. So
Then there's one more option. I think we could like can move the forms on the website.
yeah,
Like I not want to make it as an order, like
yeah.
801, 100.
You can move them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can move them as much as you want. So in the kit here, Sri was just saying, let's go into a kit. So go ABC Lane, for instance. Say for some reason you want to order the kits. In your envelope here, when you push them, you can order them in any way. Say you want your client to sign. Oh, I didn't pick them all. I just picked the data sheet. Hold on. Let me just say select all real quick.
You can move it from each document.
Yeah, you can move it from here, but say you want them to sign it in a certain order, right? So I'm gonna go to fill and send. Sri was saying here, like on the left, like say I want them to sign the seller direction first. I can move it up here. Right? And I can make sure it's the first one that they sign, right?
No, before also, there's you can move it there.
Yeah, that also can move it.
Yeah,
Before too, you can.
yeah. Yeah, Sadia, what's up?
I think once you move to the signing part after this one, you cannot rearrange anymore.
No, once you move to the signing part, you can only fix where you're putting initials and signatures and stuff.
Yeah, before even other design had the option of where your signing part you can rearrange, but I don't think here they have that option. Once you move from
No,
here
not at this
to
point.
the
Yeah.
next one, you cannot rearrange anymore. So then you have to restart back again everything.
You could just click on the envelope again.
No, there's option to correct the envelope.
No,
Yeah,
envelope
there's
doesn't
options.
let you do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but that's what you're saying. Yeah, you can go correct the envelope. Let me go find one here. I'll show you where to do it. Okay, so let me find something I've
Maybe.
had my
Okay.
client sign quickly.
You can go on the.
Oh, sorry, I could have gone there, yeah. I was just trying to find one that I'd actually sent. This one won't say about resend or anything because I haven't sent it. So let me go back. Let me just go here to one I've actually sent. My files. Okay. I don't know. What have we done recently? And I don't think I sent that for signature, so.
There's all zeros.
I know, because most of them's just training. I get bombarded with training.
Last year.
Here we go. We'll go to Queen Street. Okay, we found one. Okay. So if you go to your sign documents here, okay, and you click on more, you can say view, share, download, print, delete, right? If you go here, it's completed, but say you want to go there and you can, oh, sorry, where did it say correct?
No, you can't
to
do
the
once
third
it's
one.
signed. You gotta go to the signed
You
two of three.
cannot.
There you go.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say you oh, there, that's
Yeah,
what it is, yeah. So say you realize you made a mistake, your client says, hey, no, like my name's wrong, or I want to change the number or something. As long as it's not completely signed, C2 or 3, you can go to correct the envelope. So you don't have to do the whole thing all over again.
But only thing is that here you have to strike it out and you can put a
And
text
fix
box-
it.
Text box.
Yeah,
Yeah, but in authentic side, you have to recreate everything. But here, there is option to strike it out and put the text box.
yeah,
Like
and
you
then
want to
fix
change
it
the
that way.
price or change the name.
Yeah,
That's a one good thing.
yeah. So, I mean, it's, everything has its
Even after
glitches here.
sign
and there.
complete, right? Even after sign completed, we can correct.
No, you can't. You have to grab that PDF.
Copy
You
that.
got to copy and copy.
You grab the PDF and pull it into a new signing kind of thing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to take up anybody else's time. I know we're over the hour there now today, but at least we got a lot of good information in. So if anybody is practicing, just let me know if you need help.
I have a quick question, Christina. How
Sure,
to
sure,
delete
sure.
the file? To delete the file?
To what file?
You know the file. How to delete it?
How to delete the file?
Yeah.
Okay, one sec. Here.
Go to the hamburger and delete.
Hamburger, yeah.
You want to get-
Okay, so you want to delete the file here? This one? Oh, this one's already like.
There is
It's,
no.
oh, this is the signing,
option.
right?
There is no delete option for envelope. Yeah, envelope
Sorry?
doesn't have any delete option. You can just archive.
Download. Okay, I guess you
Envelope,
can.
you can just archive.
Where's archive
No
though?
delete.
Sorry?
That I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I don't think,
envelope,
I'm
you
looking
can
here in the
only archive.
signing. Like
No delete.
individual forms, I know you can delete because I've been like, oh crap, I don't need that form. Let me go in and let me delete it. But maybe after the signing, you
Yeah.
can't, right? So download, delete. So
No.
if I don't want this, say I was like, oops, I don't need this in the kit here, I'd go and I'd delete it there. But your envelopes, I don't know if
No.
once you create the
can't delete
envelopes, you can't.
anything.
Actually. The one at the very bottom, the last one.
Yeah, you can
I
delete the
think-
draft, not there.
Yeah.
Not the ones that you've
Right.
actually worked on and signed, yeah. So you can delete the draft there. Yeah, I guess once you've worked on it and signed it, it doesn't give us the capability to archive it or delete it. Yeah. Mhm.
It's all paper trail. They want to keep
Yeah.
record of everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's approved.
I'm talking about the SkySlope file.
a SkySlope file,
Yeah.
like here,
Yes.
this I
can
can delete. I can archive for sure, because I know I'm always taking my training and going and throwing it out of here because I have a whole bunch of like training stuck in here every time, all these new 3, 4, 5 Main Street. See, if I go through it, I probably have 10 that I should delete. Yeah, see 1, 2, 3 Main Street. That's why it wouldn't let me create that today. I always have training 0, 0, 0 because I'm always showing somebody at my desk or something. So yeah, you just can archive it there. So when you create stuff, the office always has a trace of it, right? Because you're all working on behalf of the brokerage, right? So I think that's why it doesn't let us permanently delete it. It archives it, it puts it in the archives. So it can always go back and get retrieved, right? Because it's legal documents we're working on at the end of the day, right? So yeah. Everybody good? Have a lovely week, everyone. Enjoy the cold, keep warm.
you.
Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit.
Christine, give the recording, please.
Absolutely, I always do for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Even if I
thank you.
forget to give it sometimes, just check the YouTube channel. If I don't give it for a day or two, it's probably uploaded. I just haven't sent the email with the link out. So as long as you're part of the channel and you're a member, you'll get a notification too when I load the new video up. Awesome. Everybody have a good week. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.